got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. nose, got rose in my cup, though. Started climbing my OG, got me locked in on cup, though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup, though. Started climbing my OG, got me locked in on cup, though.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to PSGL. George Morgan here and Jack Kinnett. All the lights are currently lit here on track, and it is go, go, go!
Down between the Mercedes teammates.
Denoso with a crafty manoeuvre up the inside. Masterclass from the Chilean.
Crucial championship points on offer here.
Here on countdown, Danny Berezne.
Longe has done the job. This is for the win between these two.
Freddie Rasmussen wins the United States Grand Prix.
Alfie Butcher wins for the first time ever. Lucas Blakely takes the championship. It's Barry Foreman.
Jarno Opmeer is your champion.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to PSGL here for round number 7 of the F4 Championship on the PlayStation TS as we take in the fantastic Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. We're here in Jeddah for round number 7. My name is, of course, Michael Edwards, going to be taking you through the action, and joining alongside me in the commentary box is the one, is Yoni, is Mr. Danny Quinn. Quinn, how you doing, fella?
I'm feeling really good, of course. We are here in the fastest street circuit on the calendar here in Saudi Arabia, at the Jeddah Corniche circuit, and safe to say that it's probably going to be a very hectic race tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, a very different prospect to what we had last week at Suzuka. But let's have a little look at the track as we take in the Jeddah circuit. Of course, 6.1 kilometers, 3.8 miles in length, 27 corners, 3 DRS zones, 1 going down in towards turn number 22, 1 down into the final corner at turn 27, and of course 1 on the start finish straight towards turn number 1. A lot of very interesting battles we have seen here in the past, Quinn, and you know, this track does promote a lot of side-by-side action, and we should be in for an absolute treat here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. One battle that sticks to my mind is the infamous Verstappen-Lewis incident going into the last corner, which was it a brake test? Was it just Max trying to let Lewis pass? We'll never know.
We will never know. But one thing that we will know is in around about an hour and a bit's time, we will be finding out who's going to be the winner here in Jeddah. And of course, let's have a little look at what we saw last week in Saudi. Of course, it was JR Niels who did take the victory out on track, but a post-race penalty for him sees him drop all the way down to 10th, picking up 2 points in the end with the fastest lap. And it promoted Soapbox, who already extended his championship lead with a second place finish last time out. He now has a race win, so he's extended it even further now, Quinn.
Yeah, I can't recall what the penalty would have been for Niels, but it's a fantastic result for Soapbox, and to extend his championship lead even more, it's becoming an even greater prospect for the guys behind him to even catch him now.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, I believe the penalty was for being an AI and the safety car, I believe. We'll have to fact check that. But yeah, Soapbox does take victory after that penalty is applied. And what that does to the Drivers' Championship, it means that Soapbox now has a lead of 27 points now, Quinn. It is looking very one-sided as we are at the halfway stage of this championship.
Yeah, it's almost 2 race wins, the gap from first to second, which in a season as short as this, it can be unsurmountable. It can get to a point where it's just impossible. Even we've seen some great battles, me and you, just until the last race for the championships decided. Well, it could just not be decided at all
Yeah,
in the
absolutely.
last race.
And with Reese and Ismail both see the checker flag in Suzuka, it means that Man Light has been able to get himself up into second in the championship. He's currently on 38 points, 27 points off Soapbox, who leads the way on 65 points. Then, of course, we got Reese and Ismail both still tied on points, but someone else joining them on 32 points is Boyo Lulu with a 6th place finish last time out. So we got 3 drivers all on 32 points as Reese, Ismail and Boyo Lulu. 6th place is Santero on 26 points. But Joris Likes Food in 7th on 25 points. 24 points for Sem in 8th. Sergio in 9th on 21 points. And of course Federico on 19 points, completing the top 10 in the Drivers' Championship. Of course, I mean, at this moment in time now, obviously, we have seen the likes of the Williams drivers now starting to pick up a few points, and the only drivers yet to pick up a points is, of course, Mendos, Betsky, and Fleddy, who is going to be racing here tonight. But all 3 of those drivers are reserve drivers, so every single driver that is part of a constructor's lineup have now got points on the board, Quinn.
Yeah, it's very good to see, well, nearly every driver here with points. Of course, part of that can be down to people retiring when things don't go their way. And of course, like we said multiple times, anything can happen. It's league racing, and especially around the circuit like Jeddah, anything can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we head to the action out on track, let's have a little look at the constructors' standings. Tied on points at the top of the constructors, 50 points apiece. We have the Alpines and the Visa Cash App Racing Bulls. So both of those teams tied on points, 50 points apiece. And then just 9 points off the back of them, we have the Sauber team. Mercedes not too far off the back of Sauber, just 3 points separating those two teams as they're in 4th place on 38 points. 28 points for the McLaren F1 team in 5th place. Aston Martin in 6th on 26 points. Scuderia Ferrari in 7th on 22. Then, of course, we've got 16 points for 8th place Williams. Red Bull currently down in 9th place on 15 points. And, of course, the Haas F1 team, they're at the back of the field on 10 points. But as qualifying is we come here just in time to start flying that with me, Akila.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting lap to see from Mikula.
Well, coming through the first sector as we go through 6, 7, and of course through 8 into turn 9. You need to get a good launch out of 10 and through 11 here. First sector split for Mikula. What's it going to be? It's a 31.9 as we head to the break-in now for turn 13. 4th gear, the gear of choice there for Mikula. Trying to use all the track possible. Let the car run out and maximise the speed on the exit as we head to the break-in now for 16 and 17. Very easy to invalidate here through that chicane as DRS will be wide open as we run down to the next braking zone at turn 22 as we should be seeing a lot of action on this DRS straight as we head down now through 22 and 23. Again, very easy to pick up an invalidation there. DRS going to be wide open again now for Mikula as he heads down to the final brake zone of the circuit in towards the turn 27. Left-hander and all about exit out of that corner because it's very easy to just to nip a little bit of the wall and chip off a little bit of the front wing, but Mikula does well there. 27.5 as an opening lap here in qualifying.
Yeah, it's a very good lap, but of course Lorenzino goes and beats that by over half a tenth. And I believe next person is Santero. He goes into third. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of invalidations on flying laps here. We have Joris and Betsky all invalidated so far. So it is a hard track to keep. Well, it is a hard track to keep your car on, and Sergioli goes fastest with the 27.08. So Fleddy puts himself on provisional front row with a 27.2. So pace has already been set, and that's a very solid time there from Sergioli.
Yeah, and of course, obviously, Fleddy stepping in as a reserve here tonight. Of course, we know Fleddy's capabilities very well. We've had many seasons where we've commentated over him here in PSGL. What would it mean for the likes of some of these drivers up at the front to have Fleddy in this grid now? Because Fleddy has proven on many occasions he is rapid enough to take race wins and podiums away.
Yeah, it could be applying a lot of pressure to the guys who the usual suspects to the front of the grid. As having someone like Fleddy, yes, he has shown at times that he has raw pace and he's able to fight for potential wins and podiums, but he is susceptible to mistakes. We've seen in the past that he's had a lot of first lap incidents that have ruined his race, so he just has to keep his nose clean on the first lap and then just keep it consistent throughout the race.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, if you're Soapbox and you're seeing a guy like Fleddy, obviously coming in now tonight, taking up a reserve seat, that's got to give Soapbox, you know, a bit of, I don't want to say confidence, but obviously having another driver that could potentially take race wins away from obviously his nearest rivals in Manlike, in Reese, in Ismo, like that's going to be a huge bit of confidence for Soapbox. So on the other hand, though, if Soapbox is unable to get a race win over those guys out on track, having someone like Fleddy can also be a detriment to him, because Fleddy could mean that he loses more points to those guys.
Yeah, it could be, but like you were just saying about like Manlike and Ismail, well, Manlike is already potentially losing points to Soapbox because he's not actually here tonight.
Yeah, and that is unfortunate for a man like he was P2 in the championship coming into tonight's race, but unfortunately unable to attend, so he will be losing ground as long as Soapbox can make sure he scores the points inside the top 10. Of course, we do have Ismail here tonight, and I don't believe I see Reese in there as well. I don't think Reese is here tonight either, so Ismail is the nearest championship rival to Soapbox here tonight.
Yeah, and it's going to be a race where Soapbox is hoping to capitalise on people missing even more than he did in Suzuka.
Yeah, absolutely, of course, Suzuka saw all of Soapbox's championship rivals tumble down and out of the race, as Tio there having to take the exit through turns 2, and that is not going to build him with any confidence at all. An invalidated lap there for Tio, as we're going to go on board. I believe Boyolu's just completed a lap, so we'll come back to him in just a moment's time just to make sure. As Mikula's actually just started his lap. We'll actually go on board with Boyolu, see if he is up on his first sector split. No, he's 2.5 seconds down yet. He has just completed the lap. Mikula, currently in P5. Again, stepping in as a reserve tonight. Another driver that can take some good solid points away from the championship rifles. We know about Mikula's pace as well, Quinn, and definitely another contender that could get a podium or a race win here.
Yeah, definitely could. Showing real, consistency so far. So hoping that potentially this could be the race where we potentially see a podium or even a race win.
Yep, and right there we just saw a little bit of a correction as we went into the turn 16-17 chicane. Mikula turned in a little bit too early, but he corrected it, so he would have scrubbed out just a little bit of time, but you can see there he's over a 10.5 up in the middle sector split as he flies down now towards the final braking zone at turn 27. Let's see if Mikula is going to be able to get himself onto the front row. Right now he's gaining enough time that he could jump up into P3, but can he get on par with Fleddy, with Sergio here? Let's find out as we come to the line with CPI Mikula. And is it going to be enough? No, he loses all of his time in the final sector, so not a good launch out of 22 and 23 there for Mikula.
Yeah, it's a very solid lap there from Mikula, but just that lost time potentially could have taken away a potential second row start for him. So it's all down to the last lap to potentially hook one together. But looking at Fleddy and Sergio, well, Sergio has invalidated his lap as he's gone wide there, but Fleddy at the moment, he's just going through sector 1. He's looking like his car is on rails at the moment. There's no slide outs or anything, and he's marginally up on his time, but he's got to find near enough 2 tenths to even match Sergio, and then to beat Sergio, well, got to think he's got to get into the 26s.
Yeah, and we're going to see if that's going to be possible for Fleddy now as we run down towards the middle sector split. Is Fleddy going to be up in his middle sector? Time will tell. And he's marginally up. Can he find anything for the final sector? Very, very quick on the entry.
It is a purple.
22.
It is a purple middle sector there, so he's faster than Sergio in the middle sector. See if he can get this final corner correct. You want to get a late apex so he can get on the power, but he just clips the wall, and I believe that Soapbox just going into third place, and here's Fleddy. Yeah, just a marginal improvement for Fleddy. And I think just on the exit at the final corner, he tapped the wall with his rear right tyre, and that just killed any momentum that he had, which is so unfortunate because he could have been a lot closer to Sergio.
Yeah, absolutely. And that wall on the final corner, that final exit, so tricky to get right because it is so easy just to drift out just a little bit too wide and clip that wall. One person I wanted to bring a little bit of attention on is this man right here, Joris Likes Food. Now, the reason why I want to bring a little bit of attention on it, because at the start of the season, Joris looked incredible. 4th place finish in Silverstone. He got the race win then in Miami, which unfortunately we wasn't able to stream due to technical difficulties on our end. But since then, 3 DNFs, and of course he was unable to race around Spain at round number 4. Joris right now is in a major slump.
Yeah, he's just got to find his footing again. Of course, at the moment he's in P10. He is some 7 tenths behind Sergio, so yes, he's only really got one more opportunity, so he's really got to make the most of it and to get himself further up field for qualifying. Of course, this isn't like a track like Monaco or Hungary where it's really difficult to overtake, so qualifying isn't as important as those tracks, but for like self-confidence for Joris, it's going to be very important for him to qualify good, because then he can take that into the race.
Yeah, and I think we're qualifying that. It's all about building the confidence around a circuit like this, because the wall's unforgiving. It's a fast-flowing circuit. Any minute error will turn into a major catastrophe in just a moment. As we're coming on board with Boyolulu coming through the final corner now. To the line will come the man currently at P5, not only in qualifying right now, but also in the championship. He moves up to P4. Almost a 10th improvement there. Good lap there for Boyolulu.
Yeah, I'm just on board with Santero now as he's coming up to the final corner. Of course, you want to take a late apex going into this final corner so you can get the power down as early as possible. Santero does just that and taking the shortest line to the left. It is a 3.5 tenth improvement up to P8 for Santero.
Santero needed that improvement, that is for sure. One person at the back of the field that definitely needs an improvement is Betsky, currently in 18th place, a 1:36.7. He is not in rhythm with this circuit at all in qualifying.
And there's an even bigger surprise at the back of the field, just one place ahead of him. It's Ismo in 17th. It might not be a track that he particularly likes, but for someone contending while trying to challenge Soapbox for the title, this is, well, so far it's disastrous if he starts 17th.
Well, I mean, both, like, not only has Ismo got an opportunity to try and close some points here and maybe get himself up in the second in the championship, also Boyolulu, let's not forget, Boyolulu is second, well, he's on the same amount of points as Ismo and Reese. He's on 32 points, so he is tied with those three for third place on 32 points. They're 6 points behind the likes of Manlike, who is currently second in the championship. Both Ismo and Boyolulu are 33 points behind Soapbox coming into tonight's race. Boyolulu right now up in P4, going to be right alongside Soapbox at this moment in time. Honestly, huge opportunity for Boyolulu right now to try and close the gap on Soapbox, but also propel himself into second in the championship.
Yeah, definitely. Just looking at Lawrence.
Come on board with Solax as he comes to the line. 14th there for Solax. Not happy with how his lap has ended. Lorenzino on a lap right now as well. In fact, he's getting out of the way as we got just over 2 minutes to go in the session. All these drivers are now flooding out the pits to get themselves geared up for their final runs now, Quinn.
Yeah, Lorenzino, I was just saying, he just finished his lap and he's gone up into P3 with a 0.36. So potentially that was his last lap, as he really doesn't have enough fuel to go for another lap. So he went early, went out of sync with everyone else, which historically isn't a great thing to do, because of course as track evolution happens, you're going to get faster at the end of the session, and with everyone else to do their laps, he could drop down a few places here.
Yeah, potentially, as on board with Dennis right now as he's about to get his lap underway. Remember, Dennis managed to get himself pole position in Hungary a few rounds ago, round number 5 of the championship. So Dennis has shown that he can be up there in qualifying. The race didn't turn out the way that he wanted, but he's definitely shown that he's got a bit of pace about him this season.
Yeah, definitely. And just looking through his lap at this moment, he didn't take turn 1 and 2 optimally, but he's looking very...
Oh! Jumps on to the curb in right there, and heartbreak there for Dennis, Quinn.
Yeah.
Big moment for Dennis as I'm going to hop on board with Folletti coming to the first sector split right now. Is he up? Is he down? He's a 10th and a half up on his time in sector 1. Fleddy is flying through sector 1 right now, Quinn.
Yeah, he's really flying at the moment. He's getting the confidence back, and he's really just flying. And he mounted that curve a little bit. But yeah, just Lorenzino and Solak's the first drivers to finish their laps, so they will not be improving on their positions. And 2.5 tenths up is Fleddy. He's looking to be the first driver into the 26s. Going into the final corner, we said multiple times you want to take a late apex going into here. He goes a little bit wide on entry, but manages to get it turned in. A little bit of a wiggle on the exit. But Fleddy, the shortest line to the finish line, that is 3 tenths improvement, nearly a 26.8.
Okay, all eyes right now on Sergio and Soapbox into the pits. He's not going to complete his lap. Sergio around about a tenth up on his lap time. He is 900ths of a second up. This is going to be mightily close between Fleddy and Sergio here, as Sergio's on the run down now to the final corner. The final braking zone is all on this right now for pole position for Sergio and Fleddy. What is the run saying for Sergio? Is it going to be enough? Can he nip ahead of Fleddy here? No, he cannot. Sergio just missing out by, was that 68 thousandths of a second?
Yeah, it was very close, but I managed to see Ismail did improve on his time, but it was only P11, I believe. I didn't quite end up seeing where, well, I didn't quite, Boy Lulu starting ahead of Soapbox, and Ismail was in 11th.
Well, that's when you threw the order here in qualifying real quick. Fleddy taking pole position with Sergio joining him alongside on the front row. Boyolulu in third place with Lorenzino in fourth. Soapbox in fifth with Sam Van Morazin in sixth place. George Likes Food in seventh. Tio in eighth. ASRT Kevin in ninth, and then CPI Mikela rounding out the top 10. Outside the top 10 we got Ismo, Dennis, Santero, Luno, Federico, Sam, Solax, Betsky, and then of course at the back of the field starting from P19 we are going to have, as I have to bring up the stream for 2 seconds just so I can see who was at the back there, because I didn't have enough time to see. It was Alpha Kevin, of course it was.
Yeah, like it's a great qualifying if you're Boya Lulu, because you're starting ahead of Soapbox and you're on the second row of the grid. But for Ismail starting 11th, it is an improvement from starting 17th, but they've still got a lot to do to close the gap, well, to catch up to Soapbox in this race.
Well, yeah, and obviously, you know, looking at the back of the field as well, you look at some of the drivers that are down there with the pace to come through. Obviously, Alpha Kevin starting from 19th place. We've seen his pace in the past. Ismail as well. We've seen his pace in the past. Mikela, definitely another one that we have seen do incredible work in the past. Federico, I mean, we saw him make quite a few overtakes in Hungary as well, so he's definitely capable of getting himself up the order. But this is where it's going to be interesting. At the front, Boyolulu versus Soapbox. And Soapbox will be starting directly behind Boyolulu. Even though Boyolulu qualifying P3, Soapbox there in P5. So it is going to be incredibly close between those two. And if Soapbox can get off to a good start, he can maybe have a look down the inside in towards turn number 1.
Yeah, and, well, you can't forget about the two drivers ahead of those two title challengers. You've got Fleddy and Sergio, of course, showing incredible pace in the qualifying session. Mm-hmm. So you just got to think, like they could potentially, well, especially Fleddy, he could be taking a potential race win away from either of those two.
Yeah, and to be honest, if you're Soapbox right now, you're kind of happy if Fleddy does come in and take a win. So obviously Fleddy is coming in right now as a reserve. And Soapbox will be more than happy, more than content of Fleddy taking a race win, so that the likes of Boyoludu, the likes of Ismail cannot take a race win away. So he'll be quite happy with Freddie taking the race win. He'll be happy with Sergio, I think, getting second because of the points gap that he has on Sergio. Remember, Sergio is currently in 9th place in the championship on 21 points. We will bring up the standings again just so you guys are able to Drivers' Championship, so you can see what we're looking like as we head into the second half of the season here. Round number 7 at Jeddah. Soapbox does lead the championship by 27 points. He's almost got a 2-race win margin. In fact, obviously with Manlike not here tonight, Boyolulu and Ismail are the only two inside the top 5 who are here, along with Soapbox. So they're the nearest championship rivals to Soapbox, and the gap between those two and Soapbox is 33 points. So there is a 2-race win margin between Soapbox, Ismail, and obviously Boyolulu. And we're going to be seeing the margin between Manlike and Reese from Soapbox. They should be increasing tonight, but of course we can't speak too soon because it is possible around here that anything can happen, as we will see. We will have to wait and see. But guys, we will be back after a short word from our sponsors, so we'll catch you in just a moment's time. Ladies and gentlemen, you join us here, round number 7 of season 37 here in PSGL, here for F4 on the PlayStation tiers. My name is Michael Edwards. Of course, Danny Quinn alongside me. Quinn, after qualifying, we see Fleddy on pole position, Sergio alongside him on the front row. And what we are in for is an absolute treat of a race, because we've got some very quick drivers down towards the back that are going to need to make their way up the order. We're around a circuit which can be very demanding, very difficult for the drivers to get right. And of course, the concentration levels for everyone out there is going to be at maximum level. In the chat right now, we do have support for Soapbox in the chat. And of course, we got support for Fleddy in the chat as well. And of course, Fleddy's starting from pole position. He's showing why his fans should be supporting him.
Yeah, he's sixes, so that was Sergio and Fleddy, and of course, if they can carry that pace into the race, then it'll be very, very good viewing for us.
Yeah, absolutely, as we will have another little look at the circuit as we take in the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. 6.1 kilometers, 3.8 miles in length, 27 corners, 3 DRS zones, 1 down towards turn number 1, 1 into turn 22, and 1 down towards turn 27. Very fast flowing, no margin for error, as the walls around this circuit can be ever so lethal. And of course, many overtaking opportunities as well, Quinn, where we should be seeing quite a lot of side-by-side action around here.
Yeah, definitely, especially in the first few laps, especially on the first lap where, well, of course, you just have the race start. And the first few corners, I wouldn't think any less to have at least 3 groups of people going side by side through the first few corners.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to be seeing what is going to happen. Because, of course, if these guys begin to battle too much, they're going to lose out on DRS on the cars ahead. And that could really hurt their strategy long term. As you see the 3 DRS zones. I mean, if you lose out on DRS before you get to the the first DRS activation point down in sector 2 down towards turn 22, you're really going to be hurting because you're not going to have it for the run down into the final corner, and then you're not going to have it for turn number 1 either. So you're going to miss out massively if you do drop outside that 1 second window. Again, championship standings before we head into the action out on track. Soapbox leads the way on 65 points at the top of the championship. 38 points for Manlike in second place. 32 points for Reese in third. 32 for Ismail in fourth. And 32 for Boyolulu in fifth place. Of course, Reese and Manlike not here tonight, so it's up to Ismail and Boyolulu to try and close the gap on Soapbox. Santero in sixth place on 26 points, but 25 points for Joris Likes Food in P7. Sem in 8th place in the championship, 24 points for him. 21 points for Sergio in 9th place. And of course, rounding out the top 10, Federico in the Scuderia Ferrari. He's on 19 points in 10th place. Lorenzino in 11th on 18 points. Tied with Alpha Kevin, who's also on 18 points there in 12th place. EVE Sam in 13th place on 15 points. Then, of course, we've got ASRT Kevin in the Red Bull on 13 points in 14th place. Solax in 15th on 8 points. Then, of course, we've got Tio, who has 6 points to his name in 16th place. Alex Gamer on 5 points in 17th place. Dennis in 18th with 4 points to his name. Tied with Ludno in 19th place, also on 4 points. 2 points for Niels in 20th place. Of course, he did take victory last time out on track, but a post-race penalty dropped him down to 10th in the final classifications at Suzuka. So picking up the 2 points there is Niels in 20th place. Graf Roach unfortunately has left the season. Sam Van Marazin, of course, the last of the full-time drivers. He currently has 1 singular point in 22nd place, and of course Snipes, who has also left the championship season in 23rd, no points to his name. And we have Mentos, Betsky and Fleddy, 3 reserve drivers, all on 0 points. But this is the first race of the season for Fleddy, and obviously Mikela, I believe, as well, coming in as reserve. So he would be 27th on the grid. As it looks like we are not too far away, Quinn, from readying up to go into the action again out on track.
Yeah, it's gonna be an exciting race nonetheless, and as we were talking about before we started the broadcast, we're expecting it to be a very hectic race as well. So we'll see what this race at the Jeddah Corniche circuit brings to us.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we head out on track, quick reminder of the Constructors' Championship as well. 50 points for the Alpines in first place. 50 points for the Visa Cash App Racing Bulls in second place. They both tied, those two constructors. 9 points ahead of third place team Sauber on 41 points. And then we got fourth place Mercedes on 38 points, breathing down the Sauber's necks. Only 3 points separating those two teams. In fifth place, we have the McLaren F1 team on 28 points. 26 points for sixth place team Aston Martin. Then we got the Scuderia Ferraris in seventh place on 22 points. 16 points for the Williams F1 team in eighth place. 15 points for the Red Bull Racing team in ninth, and then of course rounding out the final position inside the Constructors' Championship is the Haas F1 team on 10 points in 10th place. And right now, Quinn, as we transition to the we'll be asking you for your podium predictions.
I think Fleddy will take the win. I think Soapbox will get second. And Lorenzino will get third.
Okay, interesting. So I am going for... Likewise, I believe Fleddy will get a win as we go to the 5 red lights. In fact, we will get to my prediction in just a moment's time as the 5 red lights... As I believe there's been several. I think there's an issue on with the lobby. I think we may have an issue with the lobby. So unfortunate right there. I believe we will be having a second restart there as the drivers. Unfortunately, they caught us off guard somewhat there, Quinn.
Yeah, I was just about to call that we've had multiple jump starts, but then I quickly realised that we're having another lobby restart.
Yep, we're just looking at what the situation was with the settings and for the lobby. I believe there was a issue with it, so drivers should be retiring now out on track so we can get the racing action underway as quickly as possible. In terms of my podium prediction, because now I'm actually able to give my podium prediction, likewise I believe Fleddy has the pace to take victory here tonight, and honestly I think Sergio's got enough to finish P2. I think Sergio will be there battling with Fleddy throughout the entirety of the race. And in terms of the final spot on the podium, I think I have to agree and say Soapbox gets the final spot on the podium. Because Soapbox, the one thing I'm not going to do this season is write Soapbox off for a podium finish, because he has proven so many times over the course of the season that he just keeps his nose out of trouble. He just gets on with his race, doesn't make many mistakes, and he will just go about his race until the end, where he's usually there or thereabouts in the podium positions at the end. Because look at the season he's had so far. Third place in Silverstone. Right, he finished P9 in Miami, which was unfortunate there for him. Right, he finished second place in Austria, round number 3. He got a fourth place finish in Spain, and then back-to-back race wins. Obviously, he did it out on track in Hungary, and then obviously the post-race penalty was going to give him the race win at Suzuka. Like, Soapbox has just proven over the course of the season so far that he can just go out there, do his race, get the job done, and he is going to be up there or thereabouts on the podium. So I'm not going to deny anything anything to do with Soapbox, as we have legal L Eagle Pyro in the chat saying sorry, first time lobby host. There's no worries, mate, no worries. As long as we are able to get the lobby sorted ASAP. We don't mind a few technical errors along the way while you are learning. Again, let's have a little look at the circuit in question. And honestly, Jeddah is just going to be... It's going to be an interesting one in terms of the strategy as well. Obviously, timing the pit stop and that. What do you think the strategy is going to be around here? Do you think we're going to see drivers starting on a set of the mediums, or do we think they're going to be starting on a set of the hard compound tyres?
Well, we've seen the likes of Soapbox do the alternate strategy and it work out for him, so I would definitely expect some people to start on a hard tyre, but I think most of the grid will be starting on the mediums. And it's most likely going to be a one-stop race unless there is a safety car. So I expect some sort of variation of hard medium or medium hard in this race.
Yeah, and of course, it seems to be obviously on this game cycle, the hard compound tyres seem to be a very good race tyre to be on. And around a circuit like this, hards have generally always been a very good race tyre around Jeddah. So I do think we'll be seeing more hards and mediums at the start of this race.
Yeah, especially like talking about the hards being preferred race tyre, you wouldn't have to go back that far to when the hards were completely avoided and people preferred a two-stop strategy, going soft, medium, soft, or some order of those of that strategy. You'd see people preferring to go for a two-stop, avoiding the hards rather than a one-stop.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, I mean, the hards, they just, for some reason, they are just an incredible race tire on this particular game cycle. Mediums definitely are a very good race tire around here as well. You definitely got a lot of grip.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's going to be a case of whether or not you're going to want that medium tyre, the faster of the compounds, towards the end of the race, whether you're at your lightest in terms of the fuel, or whether you're going to have it at the start to try and gain early advantage. Maybe go for an undercut on those hards and try and see what you line up towards the end of the race. But we are going to be getting into the lobby pretty soon.
And
hopefully everyone remembers their setups.
Now you've got time to do your podium prediction.
I have done my podium prediction. Ready for
Well,
the win?
you can say it.
Ready for the win?
You can say it again just to
Sergio
remind everyone.
Ready for the win? Sergio second, Soapbox third. That is my podium prediction.
And my one was Fleddy first, Soapbox second, and Lorenzinho third.
Will it be Mystic Quinn or will it be Mystic Mike here tonight? We're going to find out in around about 40 minutes time, as the drivers are all on the grid. They're making sure they get their setups right. They're making sure they're getting their race strategies right. We're going to try and have a view of the pit lane right there. There's going to be seeing a lot of action here tonight. I am expecting to see potentially a safety car deployed at some point, just because of the nature of this track. So fast flowing, very easy to make a mistake, and we could see a casualty or two out there in the race. So I am expecting to see a safety car of some sort here tonight.
Yeah, the same. But something that we do have to mention is the fact that in the last session, of course, well, people may have known who they were sharing a grid box with. Well, we've had to do another restart, so people pretty much have no idea. So that, unfortunately, could play a big factor in a potential race winner here.
Yeah, absolutely. And imagine, battling for the race lead, both Sergio and Fleddy coming into the pits at the same time. And Sergio having the double stack. But here we go now to those 5 red lights to get us underway here in Jeddah. Round number 7 of the championship. Lights out and we are underway. And it looks like a very good start there early on from Fleddy, as he is clear ahead in towards turn number 1. As I heard big contact in the back, and I think that's Tio going around, and that's a virtual safety car. 10-second time penalty for a collision with Sam Van.
And Federico Spiga.
Well, we mentioned about the tyre compound. It seems like everyone's gone for a set of the mediums, except for one man, and that is Mikela in 11th place.
Yeah, I was sort of expecting it to be Soapbox, to be honest, but yeah, Mikela opting for the alternate strategy, opting for a faster tyre towards the end of the stint, which could play into his hands, but an early safety car here.
Virtual. It was a virtual.
Well, yeah, but yeah, I was saying if we do get an early safety car, that could potentially ruin a race strategy for Mikela.
Potentially, but if he does fly into the pits with everyone, he could potentially go medium to the end and be on the fastest tyre throughout the entirety of the race. So there is strategy options there for Mikela, and we will see if he's going to be able to do anything as we wait for the virtual safety car to end here. We're back to green flag racing at the end of lap number 1. Fleddy leading away by half a second to Sergio in second place. Sergio 4 times clear of Boyolulu, as we got Lorenzino there in 4th. Under a bit of pressure from Soapbox here in 5th place.
Yeah, it was a good restart from Fleddy, but yeah, Lorenzino was really starting to pull back away from Boyolulu, but Soapbox isn't in a position where he can capitalise on it, and it looks like Federico Spiga and Tio already pitting to get rid of their penalties, and hopefully it's not going to lead to people retiring. It doesn't look like it. It looks like Tio's going for the wing change, and yeah, Boyolulu, not sure what happened to Boyolulu, but he has dropped back massively. There's some really big battles going on. Ismail has gained a few positions. He's got Dennis going side by side down the inside. Little bit of a snap there. And Ismail ultimately keeps the position, but Dennis is still keeping him honest, as well as Kevin.
That's good run from Dennis. Good run from Dennis out of the chicane at 16 and 17. He's going to draw alongside Ismo, but we are getting yellow flags out on track. I think that is a spinner down towards the back. That might be Federico. In fact, no, it's Solax, I believe.
Yeah, it will be Solax. Federico and Tio both pitted. And yeah, car going slowly is Solax. Looks like there isn't a front wing. Oh, there is a front wing. It's just missing the front left end plate, which is unfortunate for Solax as he will have to pit. But it's actually Sergio who takes the lead of the race and sets the fastest lap. He had a very, very good run on Fleddy. He was right on the gearbox on.
Well, I mean, this is a big moment, obviously, now for...
starting to pull away.
Yeah, big moment now for Sergio to see if he's got the pace to pull away here. But also, looking at that gap between the likes of Fleddy and Boyolulu, it is on the edge of that 1 second window. In fact, it's just tipped over the 1 second window. And that could be costly for Boyolulu, because looking behind him, Lorenzino not too far off the back rim, Soapbox in the mix as well. He could be an absolute sitting duck if he does knock out in that 1 second window for the DRS detection point, which I think he's just about going to be able to do it. As again, I think that's Solax around, and heartbreak for Solax there, as he is not comfortable with this circuit at all. And it looks like Boyolulu just about got DRS, but flashing red on the back of that car indicating he's low on ERS, and that is going to be all of what Lorenzino needs to see, because now he's just going to be able to fly straight past him here.
Yeah, but potentially that's going to be a bit tactical. Let the guy behind go past. So,
well, I mean, they are teammates. Both of them are driving for the.
Also, it's not really affecting.
Yeah, as Fleddy gets back through on Sergio with DRS down in towards turn number 1. That's a safety car deployed here. Lap number 4, the safety car has been deployed.
Yeah, Solax.
Yeah, Solax really struggling out there. No front wing on his car. Of course, coming in tonight, he has 10. I believe he has 10 points to his name. Solax. Yeah, Solax actually 8 points to his name. Coming in tonight, so I mean, it's been a tough season so far for Solax, but this race I think he is struggling beyond all belief now.
Yeah, and potentially if you go the wrong way on a setup and you go more catered towards qualifying, your tyres could be overheating. Yeah, well, you could have a completely wrong wing setup. It could be, well, yeah, thinking his tyre pressures could be completely wrong, but I'm not 100% sure.
In the chat right now, we got APSR Mark saying all boxed for hards. So he's doing a prediction right now where he believes everyone will be in the pits at the end of this lap, or putting on a set of the white-walled hard compound tyres.
Of course, Mikela won't be doing that, and because he's already started on the hards.
Yeah, but Mikela could go for 2 sets of mediums, sure. Maybe try his best to cut for the field. Maybe there's another safety car late in the race where you can hop on the second set of mediums and be in a decent spot come the end of the race. But we'll have to wait and see.
Fleddy.
As Fleddy stays out, Sergio's in, Lorenzino is in, Boyolulu's in.
Everyone behind Fleddy. Oh no. Oh no.
Mikela stays out.
Yeah, I expected Mikela to stay out.
And
But
Luno.
and Luno. But that's... I think Fleddy has made a mistake by not pitting.
Well, I mean, this is going to be interesting now. Obviously, for Fleddy, I mean, obviously he may feel that he still has enough grip and pace in those tyres that he's going to be able to maybe build a little bit of a gap and then come back at them with fresher tyres towards the end of the race. As Mark in the chat says, called it. And that he did. Almost everyone into the pits, fresh set of hard compound tyres. And the only ones that have stayed out thus far is Fleddy, the race leader for lap ball mediums. Mikela, who is on the hard compounds to start the race on. and of course Luno, who is currently in P3. I'll tell you what though, Joris likes food. I mean, we mentioned earlier about the horror that he's had in the early stages of the season. Remember, he did get a race win in round number 2 at Miami, and of course he picked up a 4th place finish in round number 1. He was leading in the championship going into round number 3, but a string of DNFs for Joris has meant that he's languishing now 7th place in the championship. He's currently in P7 right now in the race. What would this do for Joris's confidence to be able to get a good result here? As I'm not sure if we got connection issues right now with my co-commentator, but Joris, I mean, definitely a driver that does have the pace to be up there, but he needs to get back into that rhythm that he had at the start of the season. He needs to string together a couple of good results. He's had a few poor results in recent races, and definitely in the latter stage of the season, definitely needs to be building up that confidence. Of course, we're here for round number 7 as we enter the second half of the championship season. 6 races gone thus far. We've had 5 different race winners over the course of the season. Of course, Reese not here tonight, picking up the race win in round number 1, and of course Joris picking up the race win in Miami for round number 2. Round number 3's race winner was of course Sergio in Austria. Round number 4's race winner at Spain was Manlike, and then of course we've had back-to-back race wins from Soapbox, the championship leader. Of course, Soapbox won out on track in Hungary, and then got promoted to the race win after a post-race penalty to JR Niels, who won out on track, but that post-race penalty really hurt him in his pursuit of getting himself up the order in this championship. But yeah, 5 different race winners thus far. The only 2-time race winner is of course the championship leader in Soapbox. 27 points, the gap at the top between Soapbox and Manlike. Between the legs of Soapbox and the only 2 drivers in the championship fight that are here tonight, Ismail and Boyolulu, is a 33 point gap between Soapbox and those 2 drivers in particular. So 2 race win advantage that Soapbox currently has. He's currently in P10, so he got held up in the pits, and you was mentioning earlier, Quinn, about the pit lane and whether or not you could get double stacked behind someone that you don't realise is your teammate. It seems like that has happened to Soapbox here.
Yeah, it could definitely be what has happened to Soapbox.
I mean, he's lost out to Joris, Sam, and of course Ismail in this race. So now Soapbox has both of his nearest championship rivals coming in tonight ahead of him out on track. He has one directly ahead of him, and the second is a few places up the road in P6. So he has 3 drivers separating himself and Boyolulu here.
Yeah, it's gonna be, well, of course everyone is on the same tyres apart from Federico, Luno and Fleddy, and Mikula's on slightly older hards. So it's just going to be about who can get the tyres into the working window once we get to the restart. And of course the hards are quite a difficult tyre to get up to temperature, and it takes a few laps of full speed, well, maybe a lap or 2 of full speed running to even get them into a working window. So it's gonna be, well, for Soapbox, it's gonna be quite difficult to make an instant impact, but I expect him to slowly make his way through the field.
Yeah, and that has been the story of Soapbox season so far. He's not really gone guns blazing in terms of overtakes and everything. He just quietly goes about his race, makes the positions, doesn't make many mistakes, and he just finds himself up towards the front at the end of the race. And that has been the story of Soapbox season so far. The consistency of this man is the reason why he is in the Championship League. It is the reason why he has the gap that he does at the top of the standings. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see Soapbox close towards the end, as Betsky gets a 10-second time penalty for a collision with Alpha Kevin. And I believe it is the worst time for him to get that penalty, because now I think safety car will come in this lap. It will come in this lap. So, Quinn, I'm going to go on board with Mikela for the restart. Do you want to take us underway on the safety car restart here?
Yeah, we can do. So, of course, everyone's going to be weaving and weaving to try and get the tyre temps as high as you can for the restart. Going up to the final corner, it's going to be interesting to see when Fleddy decides to go. Doesn't look like he's gone just yet.
No, he's gone.
Actually, he's gone now. He's gone. And yeah, Mikela's predicted that quite well. He's really catching up. But Luno has been caught out by it, and Sergio is going to be looking to get a move done on Luno. Not able to. But yeah, it's looking a bit sketchy there for Fleddy on the restart, as Mikela was able to keep up with him and didn't see any moves further back. But actually, that Santero lost 2 positions to Tio and Federica Spiga.
Joris here absolutely pushing Boyolulu through the first sector and unable to get the move done, but needs to be careful as he's very close to the back of Boyolulu here. Gets a good run out of turn 13. Does Joris likes food? Could potentially have a look in the inside in towards 16. Thinks better of it. Looks for the better exit out of 17 as he is on the throttle now and able to get close enough. In fact, no, he's going to use a bit of ERS. He's going to draw side by side with Boyolulu as he's going to overtake Boyolulu up into P6. Goes Joris likes food. Very well timed overtake now, splitting the two Visa Cash App Racing Bulls here. Currently in P6 is Joris likes food now.
Yeah, and just looking, just as you were mentioning that, I was on board with Ismail as he got moved on Sam, or Sam Van Marazing, and yeah, it's a very good move, but that is Boyolulu right on the back of Joris. Don't think he's going to have a little look down the inside, but he isn't able to. The 2 Kevins are fighting.
Yep, that's what I was looking at right there. The 2 Kevins, as Alpha Kevin gets a 3-second time penalty as he's trying to stake the claim of being the superior Kevin out here on track, as ASRT Kevin holds a position, but for how much longer? We know what Alpha Kevin's pace is like. We've seen it over the course of this season. He has shown fantastic pace. A P2 finish, the best result that Alpha Kevin has got so far this season, coming from Spain. And he is really pushing to try and get himself into this top 10. And it's Tio around. Tio losing out actually side by side with Solax there on the exit of turn 13. So fortunately they both able to get through without any calamities there. Reverting ourselves back up towards the front. Seems like Fleddy still has a bit of grip in those medium compound tyres as he is trying his best to pull away, but with the 3 DRS zones it's going to be difficult for him to keep Mikela behind him here.
To this midfield battle just between Joris, Boya, Ismail and Sam.
Here comes Boya,
Linus, Stern, everyone just on the gearbox to the car ahead, and that's Boyolulu going for the move on Joris. He's able to make it stick even through turn number 2, and that could open up a door for Ismail, but he isn't able to get past as Aspetsky retiring in the pit lane.
Yeah, as Tio and Santero down towards the back, trading positions here for P15 and 16, but we're keeping our eyes up here towards the front of the field as Joris likes through, just overtaken by Boyolulu in this race. He has Ismail all over the back of him, and this is important for Ismail to get through on Joris as well, because remember, Boyolulu and Ismail both tied on points coming into tonight's race.
Yeah, and with Soapbox being behind the both of them, you've got to maximise the amount of points you get to try and close the gap as much as you can. And yeah, going back to my podium prediction, it's not looking great at the moment with Soapbox in 10th, but Lawrenzinho's doing quite well with P5. He's got a nearly 9/10 gap to Sergio.
Here goes Ismail.
He's going well.
Ismail on the inside of Joris likes through, coming into the final corner, and they both make it through. No calamities right there, no one into the wall, but this will allow Joris to get back into the slipstream. Remember, you got Sam in behind, Sam moving to the outside line. Fleddy's just been overtaken by Mikela for the race lead, but we're looking at this battle right now going on for P8 on track, and Sam keeps his nose in there, but unable to get the move done. Soapbox right now is just, he's waiting patiently. This is what Soapbox has done throughout the entirety of this season. He's not forced himself into these kind of situations. He's just sat back and waits for his opportunities. And I do believe that that is just what we're going to see from Soapbox here tonight. Meanwhile,
I was just going to say, look at Ismail. He's really getting close to the back of Boyolulu. And at the time, Boyolulu was really on the edge of the DRS, but he seems to be deploying his ERS as the gap has swiftly moved away from.
well, I was going to say, obviously, with it being Lawrenzino in front of Boyolulu, I wouldn't have been surprised if Lawrenzino maybe didn't attack as many corners just to give Boyolulu an opportunity to get back within DRS range without losing too much time on the guys ahead. As here goes Fleddy back through on Mikela into the race lead. Goes Fleddy once again, lap 11 of 25. Fleddy leads the way ahead of Mikela as we're about to begin lap number 12. Runo there in P3 as Ismail gets through on Boyolulu. Ismail ahead of Boyolulu here.
Yeah, Boyolulu was trying to save some ERS. He did have his ERS on none for the whole of that straight.
Oh, Sergio looking at the back of Lando as he's trying to get through on Mikela here for P2 in this race. It seems like the mediums are actually holding up pretty well at the moment. And, I mean, the question is, obviously, soft tyres. Now, to my knowledge, not the best of race tyres to be on. But do you think that potentially could be the strategy that Fleddy and Luno are thinking about here?
Yeah, I think it could potentially be a viable strategy for those two, as long as they can take the tyres to, I'd say, 5 more laps. If they can take it to lap 17, 18, I think you could definitely get to the end on soft.
Well, we're going to have to wait and see. Of course, the soft tyres, while the quickest of the 3 compounds, the easiest to burn out, the easiest to lose all the pace in the tyre grip in those tyres. So it's going to be interesting to see what Fleddy and Luno does. We should be expecting to see Mikela coming into the pits within the next couple of laps as well. Maybe to jump under a set of mediums, unless he's going to go all the way to a soft compound tyre as well. Time will tell as Sergio finally gets himself through on Luno, as you saw up ahead down in towards turn number 1. And at last now Sergio has been able to make that overtake stick. As Sam picks up a 3-second time penalty for exceeding the track limits multiple times in this race, as we are lap 13 of 25. It is Fleddy that still leads the way. Mikela in second place, Sergio there in third, Luno in fourth place. Now remember guys, Sergio has made his pit stop. He doesn't need to make another pit stop in this race. So essentially he has almost a pit stop advantage over the rest of the field. He has 4 lap fresher tyres than Mikela here. So it's all going to be about how quick the likes of Fleddy, Mikola and Lundo are going to be towards the end of the race, as Boyolulu and Ismail trading positions once again, as Boyolulu gets through up in the P6 ahead of his rival coming in tonight, both tied on points in the championship, 4th and 5th place in the Drivers' Championship respectively, both on 32 points. This is not only for position out on track, but also for position in the championship as well, and of course technically as well for second place in the championship with no man like and Reese here tonight. Sergio gets through on Mikola, so Sergio now up in the P2 in this race, and the only man ahead of him is Fleddy. Fleddy running a little bit deep through turn number 1, compromising him through turn number 2, and I think now we're starting to see these medium tyres begin to fall away from him.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's not looking great for Luno, and potentially, well, it's in a difficult position here, whether he decides to just stick it out and go for, or try to go for soft tyres, or just cut your losses and go for medium, or go for hard, sorry. Oh, that is a very big snap that nearly ended his... Goes Luno.
Oh,
And that should be a safety car. It is.
Luno out of this race. Safety car just saving Fleddy in this race.
Fleddy.
But
yeah,
here's the
really
question.
saved Fleddy and Mikola.
But here's the thing now, though. We've just seen that Sergio would have seen that Fleddy has taken these tyres, granted 13 laps, but also the safety car has also helped in that. Sergio right now could jump in, put on a fresh set of mediums and go to the end of this race here.
But this is a difficult situation for Fleddy, because realistically he could go on to the softs.
Well, we're going to have to wait and see what
And
Fleddy
I think
does.
most people may decide to go on to the softs because Fleddy hasn't pitted. He's deciding to go on to the soft.
Fleddy on a set of the soft compound tyres.
Ismail's going aggressive as well as Alpha Kevin. But Solak's the only person.
Well, look
Wants
at
to take
this.
a gamble on the hards.
Look at this. We just saw... I have no words. Sergio came into the pits in second place. Look where he is now, all the way down in P9. Sergio has lost massively in the pit stop phase. He has dropped behind the likes of Mikola, Lorenzino, Boyolulu, Joris Likes Food, Sam Van and Alpha Kevin in this race. Sergio lost out massively.
Oh. Who was ahead of Sergio before going into the pits?
Just Fleddy.
Could have been a double stack like we said.
Potentially, but also at the same time, massively held up in the pit lane was Sergio, and he goes from what was P2 in this race all the way down to P9. Huge loss for Sergio here.
Yeah, because usually in the settings for these races you have unsafe release enabled, so all the cars going past shouldn't really affect whether you get released into the pit lane or not. So the only person ahead of him was Fleddy, so he must have double stacked with Fleddy.
And I wonder if Fleddy kind of realised that when Sergio came into the pits the first time round, and knew that he would have that kind of advantage coming into the pit lane. Solak's the only man that has stayed out there on 10 lap old hard compound tyres. He's in the race lead as APSR Mark in the chat saying Solak's will get eaten. Oh my god.
Yeah, potentially, but if he can stick with DRS, if he can stick in DRS, then he could potentially be in for a good result. But it is, well, 10 laps including this one, so yeah, he probably will get eaten up.
Yep, Solak's not in the best of spots. 11 lap old hard compound tyres. He's got Fleddy directly behind him. who not only has shown to have a pace advantage around this circuit on the same compound tyres, but is on 2-stage softer compound tyres. He's on the fresh set of softs. Solak's on 11 lap old hard compound tyres. I do not see this going well for Solak on the restart here.
Oh no, I don't really see it going well, but you have to think the people who are on the soft tyres, well, the soft tyre, this safety car is playing into their hands because it's just going to be extending the tyre life. So if it goes even another lap, that's another lap worth of tyre saving for them.
Nah, I think the safety car will be in at the end of this lap. So lap 17, we should be back to green flag racing. And then we're going to see if the soft tyres are going to have enough in them to go ahead and get to the end of the race. Obviously, the mediums, we will see the mediums get to the end with no issues. But the point will be the crossover. When will the mediums become the better tyre than the soft compound tyre? That is the questions of which we need the answers to. And we're going to find those answers in the final 9 laps of racing that we're going to have here in Jeddah. Is Freddy currently second on the freshest, softest compound tyre. Solak leads the way, but we believe Solak will fall down the order quite rapidly. Actually, as safety car is in this lap, I'm going to go on board with Freddy because this is where I assume the action is going to be almost immediately, as Freddy on those soft tyres, he is going to absolutely fly past Solak here. As Bombier in the chat saying Freddy has it in his pocket. We will see. Of course, there is a possibility of the tyres falling away from him towards the end of the race that might allow the likes of Michele Lorenzino and Boyolulu to come back to him. Big result for Boyolulu here tonight. He's currently in P5. Soapbox down in 11. Ismail down in 10th place. Big points game for Boyolulu right now as we are waiting to go back to racing once again. And Solak's leaving it late to go, very late to go, and now we're back to green flag racing. That might open the door immediately for Michele to have a look on Freddy now around the outside of turn number 1. Oh, Solak has gone deep into turn number 1, picks up a 3-second time penalty, and that's Freddy through. And Michele just having to squeeze his way through there, as Solak's making a mistake on the safety car restart, giving up 2 positions almost immediately, and Freddy will be very pleased with that. And so will Michele. As Lorenzino now all over the back of Solak here. He's going to look down the inside in towards turn number 13. Down the inside goes Lorenzino. Up into P3 he goes. Solak's really struggling on his tyres. The grip is not there for him versus the rest of the field. Soapbox losing out a spot to Kevin there for P10 in this race. And not ideal for Soapbox, the championship leader. He's scoring no points at this moment in time. As here goes Boyolulu. Job done for Boyolulu up in the P4. He goes now as Freddy 8 attempts the gap up ahead. He needs to find a little bit more time if he wants to break DRS and give him the best chance of winning this race here.
Yeah, he is saving his ERS, so he won't be able to do it just now, but going on to the pit straight, he's just got, well, it seems a massive pace advantage on Michele. And yeah, Michele is sticking with him, but Lorenzino is outside of the DRS
contact
range.
As Sam Van Solak's there coming together through turn number 1. That might allow Sergio to go through the side-by-side. Oh god, someone needs to back out of this. 2 into 1 through turn number 4 does not usually go well. And fortunately, Sergio did back out of that, but he found the space down the inside. What a move there from Solak's around. And that is a virtual safety car in this race. Solak's around. Ismail at the back of the field, front wing damage for him as he has got a fresh wing on that car. Heartbreak for Ismail, heartbreak for Solak. What a move from Sergio to get through on Solak. And he's trying to get himself back up in the position where he can get a potential podium out of this race. But Virtual safety car deployed here, Quinn. Lap 18 or 25.
Yeah, I believe what caused that incident was just, I think it was just the tyre life of Silax.
As we are once again back to green flag racing. Fleddy 7/10 the gap between himself and Mikela. Mikela does have DRS, so that will close in as Joris gets through on Boyolulu there for P4 in this race. And with Lorenzino right now 2.3 seconds off the back of the top two, it's going to be difficult for him to really hold these guys behind him with DRS. As Sergio gets through on Sam Van, as does Federico down the inside in towards turn number 1. Another virtual safety car deployed here as Solax is out of this race.
Yeah, the final corner he crashed out, which, yeah, the gap from Lorenzino to Mikela is really extending. Of course, it is under virtual safety cars, so it is exaggerated a little bit, but it was only around 1.5 seconds when the first virtual safety car came out, and now it's over 3 seconds.
Well, it was 2.3 seconds after we went back to green flag racing, so Lorenzino did not have a good restart at all there. He needs to make sure that he is on point with this restart if he wants any hope of closing back up on the top two, as we await for the goals green flag racing once again. He does have his teammate in Boyolulu behind him. I think there will be team orders and potentially a switcheroo between the drivers, as Tio picks up a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car. Heartbreak there for Tio. All chances of points finish for him now out the window as we're back to green flag racing, lap 19 and 25.
Yeah, and Fleddy hasn't been able to take advantage of this, well, tyre deficit he's got on Mikela, and that is Boyolulu getting overtaken by Joris and Federico Spiga getting past.
It was Mikela through on Fleddy for the race
Past
lead.
Lorenzino. Boyolulu getting past Lorenzino as well, but that's Joris with a 3-second time penalty. So that's between the two teammates, the two V-Carb teammates, I believe, who fight it out for the last podium position.
Yeah, absolutely. And with Joris Likes through, I believe that's his second 3-second time penalty of the evening. So that's 6 seconds of time penalties. He'll drop well down the order. He should have enough of a gap to stay within inside the top 10, but it's not been a good it won't be a good end of the race for Joris here, as he'll definitely lose out to the likes of Boyolulu, Lorenzino, Sam, Sergio, likes of Federico, Kevin and Soapbox here, as we are continuing on, as we have 6 laps remaining in this race, well 5.5 laps remaining in this race, as I should say, as Fleddy, I think the strategy is plain for us to see right now. He's not taking a lot of his tyres, he's keeping it calm, he's keeping his ERS high enough to he can attack at the end of this race.
Yeah, I think that Fleddy's gonna try and play it really smart here. He's just gonna stick behind.
Around the outside he'll go on Joris. Joris holds the inside line and holds the position.
But Boyer is right on the back. Boyolulu's right on the back, and
here comes Lorenzino as well.
Lorenzino as well, getting a double toe. So potentially going for a move on Boyolulu, but he isn't able to.
Beautiful little switchback there from Joris. He's on the outside line. He'll turn to the inside for turn number 4, but fortunately he's going to back out of that, realizing that 2 into 1 into that corner does not go. But he's absolutely pushing him now through the S's. And is this the strategy now? Is Lorenzino going to help out his teammate by backing up the pack a little bit?
Yeah, it could potentially be the case, as that is ASRT Kevin getting a 3-second time penalty, and this gap between second and third is just growing exponentially. And Fleddy is really still on the gearbox of Mikela, and he's just gonna wait until the penultimate lap to even think about getting an overtake done, because if you overtake at the wrong time, that can open up the door for Mikela to get back past and win this race.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, looking at the time penalties that we're seeing at the moment, a lot of penalties coming late into this race. That is a huge boost of confidence right there for Soapbox. He should be jumping himself up in towards P6 at the end of this race with the time penalties accumulated ahead of him. As is that Federico is around. Federico around. Sam overtakes Tio into the pit lane. And we have a battle going on for P3 right now as Sergio, Lorenzino, Boyolulu and Joris Likes Food all getting very close with each other. And honestly, it's getting a little bit elbows out now for this final spot on the podium.
Yeah, it is. And it looks like Santero has crashed out. But of course, there's not going to be a safety car because of the lap we're on and the fact that we've had 2 safety cars and 3 virtual safety cars. I believe that's all of them used up.
Potentially lap 22 of 25. Mikela leads the way as Freddy is actually just overtaking him for the race lead. We got the battle for P3 going on. Joris Likes Food, 6 seconds of time penalties for him. So it is between the likes of Boyolulu, Lorenzino and Sergio for the final spot on the podium. And it is going to be very intriguing to see who's going to come out on top here. Sergio has shown that he does have the pace here at Jeddah. So he may be able to get the overtakes done. And the big question is going to be whether or not... where's Kevin trying to outbreak around the outside of ASRT? Sam Van, and obviously there goes Soapbox through up in the P8 now. Soapbox making moves late into this race as these guys all battling it out as Sergio tries to have a look on Lorenzino. Lorenzino down the inside, contact with his teammate there. Did not want to be stuck on the inside there, free wide, and that's allowed Sergio through up in the P5 goes Sergio.
Yeah, and just looking at this battle, you've got nearly everyone is just pushing the car ahead through this whole circuit from, well, P3 down to P9. Everyone is just in the DRS train. But the battle I want to focus on is the battle for the race win, and of course Fleddy has gone. We got through last lap on Mikela, but it's just stuck around the 5/10 gap. And just quickly going back to Sam on Alpha Kevin, that is another 3-second time penalty for Tio, but yeah, Sam has just been really pushing Alpha Kevin. He was about a 10th down, but look at the boy Lulu, he was right on the gearbox of Joris. And that ripple effect is happening. Sergio right on the back of boy Lulu as well.
I think that's Tio.
The meat killer.
Oh, this is going to be free wide into the final corner potentially as Boyolulu tries around the outside of Joris Likes Food. And now Boyolulu is boxed in here because, he taps the back of Joris, and now it's free wide momentarily as Sergio now up in the podium position. Boyolulu tries to outbreak him down the inside towards turn number 1. It could end in catastrophe here, and that's going to allow Joris to go side by side on the exit of turn number 2. Joris now and Boyolulu side by side. Sergio now up into P3, and this is not what Boyolulu wants. He does not want Joris to really be fighting him this much, but Joris is going to be fighting for every little bit that he can get in this race, and this is heartbreak right now for Boyolulu here, because when you look at the penalty situation, it means that the only driver separating himself and Soapbox in the end will be his teammate in Lorenzino, so the points advantage that he will gain is not going to be as great. Right now, Boyolulu is set to pick up P4 in this race, which will be 8 points, and then of course Soapbox is set to pick up P6 in this race, which will be 5 points for him. So only a 3-point gain for Boyolulu. Not what he needs in this race, but he goes so close to the back of Joris Likes Food there, does Boyolulu. As we're about to approach the final lap of this race, Fleddy leads the way ahead of Mikela. We will go up to the front in just a moment's time as it's going to be free wide into the final corner.
To be in this position.
Oh God. What is going on here for the final corner? Everyone 2 by 2, 3 by 3. It's like Noah's Ark out there. Everyone line astern, walking through. And fortunately, no issues at the moment. Soapbox, so
Free
wide in
wide.
turn one. Soapbox on the inside as you got Lorenzino under pressure. And look at Sam Van on the exit. And oh god, it is all getting hectic here on the final lap of this race. Lorenzino does hold on. And look at Soapbox finding the room on the inside of Sam Van. And he gets the move done. Soapbox up into P7 in this race. And up ahead, you're seeing Lorenzino beginning to struggle. A little bit of a twitch as we go through the first sector, through the S's. And this could end up being a spectacular end to this race. We're going to revert our attention to the battle for the race lead, as it looks like Fleddy may have potentially used, or he's actually got 100% battery, same as Mikela, but DRS is going to help Mikela here, as Mikela should be able to get the overtake done. There's going to be absolutely nothing that Fleddy can do right here.
He's going to wait.
Yeah, he's going to wait. He's going to wait, and now Fleddy using the launch that he was able to get, but to no avail, because here comes DRS, here comes ERS, EVE Sam with a 3-second time penalty, not going to help his causes, and Mikela going to make that overtake count, as we're going to revert to the, actually we're going to go back to the funk, so it could be a drag race to the line here, as it is going to be Fleddy. He's not going to be close enough to take the victory. It will be Mikela. Sergio will get hold of P3 in the end, and it is going to be Sergio completing the podium. Boyo Lulu in 4th place, Lorenzino in 5th, Soapbox in 6th place, Kevin in 7th, Sam in 8th, Joris in 9th, and then we have Alpha Kevin taking that final point paying position. My god, what an end to that race that we have just seen right there, Quinn. It all got hectic towards the end. I did not know where to keep my eyes on. We had the battle for the lead. We had a monstrous battle for the final spot on the podium as well.
Yeah.
Ismail is going to be Ismail's going to be heartbroken with the fact that he is going to get no points out of this again. Obviously DNF and last time out in Suzuka, no points here tonight at Jeddah, and no points gained on the likes of Reese and Manlike, and he, I believe, obviously he will drop behind Boyolulu now. I'm trying to think, will he drop behind Sergio as well now? In fact, no, he'll just be ahead of Sergio in the championship. But ladies and gentlemen, Mikela taking victory here in Jeddah, Fleddy in 2nd place, and Sergio completing the podium. Honestly, a fantastic strategy battle between Mikela and Fleddy towards the end. I just don't think those soft tyres had enough in them at the end for Fleddy, but a great battle nonetheless. And of course Sergio, the battle for the podium, what a moment we saw. But that's running for the order one more time. It is Mikela who takes victory ahead of Fleddy in 2nd place, Sergio completing the podium there in P3. Boyolulu does gain points on the championship in P4 with Lorenzino in P5. Soapbox, the championship leader, coming through in P6. ASRT Kevin with a good result in P7. Sam Van Morazin in P8. Joris Likes Food in P9. And of course Alpha Kevin picking up that final point paying position in P10. Outside of the points is of course Sam in 11th, Ismail in 12th. Then our list of non-finishers were of course Tio, Santero, Federico, Solax, Lundo, Dennis, and of course Betsky. Wow. What an end to that race we saw right there, Quinn. An absolute smorgasbord of overtakes on the penultimate lap. It was 2x2 like Noah's Ark on the run in towards the final lap of the race for the final spot in the podium. Honestly, I have no words for the end of that race. That was absolutely incredible between those drivers.
Yeah, we did say that the race was going to be hectic, and it was kind of underwhelming until the final 2 laps, where everyone from 3rd down to about 10th just decided that they wanted to be on the same bit of tarmac.
Yeah.
It was absolutely hectic, and they're just 3 wide between, I think it was Soapbox, Joris and Sam into the first corner. It was never going to work, but somehow those 3 made it work. And yeah, I don't want to go through that again, to be honest.
Well, I mean, for this particular season. Of course, Jeddah completed. Of course, next time out when we do go to the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez for the Mexican Grand Prix in a week's time. So again, a very different circuit to Jeddah, a very high-speed circuit. Of course, the long DRS straight, the long start-finish straight, going to provide a lot of good overtaking opportunities. That middle sector, though, is where the race is going to be won or lost for me. And just making sure you have the perfect setup in terms of top-end speed, and of course, in terms of having a car that has the downforce to deal with that middle sector is going to be so crucial for these drivers. Mexico up next, Quinn. Are you looking forward to the Mexican Grand Prix?
Yeah, of course. It's one of the longest. It's gonna be one of the longest start finish straights on the calendar, and I think it's the fastest speed that you actually get on the F1 calendar. So it's gonna be very interesting race nonetheless. And yeah, the strategies are gonna be very mixy matchy. For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, until next week, where we will be in Mexico, I have been Michael Edwards. He has been Danny Quinn. Hopefully you guys have all enjoyed the action out there on track. We'll catch you next week for round number 8 at the Mexican Grand Prix. Until then, guys, it's goodbye from the pair of us.
See you.